Okay, this is in November. This is November, I don't know, 7th or something. I'll call this my gym yard bees, my apiary. This is a swarm. This is the best kind of swarm. This is the kind of swarm where they come out and they navigate. So, a navigating swarm. This is the best kind of swarm to have. That means your hive is healthy, most likely. Hey girl, don't sting me. Be nice. And so, what they do is they fly out a little bit, come down, hover around, fly out a little further, come down, hover around in front of the hive, take little snapshots in a little neuron synapse brain. They keep going further out, back in, further out until they get a good sense of all their surroundings that's going to bring them back to the hive. And this means when there's this many navigational bees, that means the queen's doing a good job laying eggs. There's no real serious infection at that time. And they're having a party. They're having a good time. They're well fed. There's lots of nectar and pollen coming in right now. And so but this happens also, this swarming happens when they're ready to split the hive. What they'll do is you'll have a bunch of them come out and they'll swarm out, and the queen, the original queen, will leave with that swarm. And you can lose as much as 75% of your hive, of your bees, because they're in there making a new queen, and so the hive can be even smaller once they swarm out. And then you got another thing is called absconding, when there's not enough food or resources in the area, there's an infection, too many pests that are getting in there. They'll do what's called absconding. They'll just take off. The whole hive will just say, "We're out of here," and they'll just leave. All of them. And so then there's another kind of swarming where you have a weaker. Usually, it's when the hive is weaker. You'll have bees from another hive. They'll come, or many hives. Doesn't matter. They'll come in and they'll investigate. Oh, this is a weak hive, and they're going to go in there and start raiding the hive, and they're going to go tell their buddies, and they're just going to come over here by the tens of thousands, and they'll swarm around there, right? Including the outside of the box, be up in here, right? Those are marauders, right? That's a bad sign. That's a bad sign. It means you likely have a weak hive. Something's wrong, right? The bees that are yours, they're going to be around the entrance. The bees that are marauders, they're going to be hovering around the cracks and up and around the sides and the back. They're going to be all over the place. And typically when they're doing this, they're non-aggressive, and they're swarming, navigational swarm. They just land on me. They just don't touch them. They're not a dog. Say there's 3 of them on me there. Don't touch them. Don't try to pet them. There's 4 of them. Don't do anything to them. Don't touch them. They will sting almost instinctively, almost immediately. There's 4 of them on my hand there. They're just they're resting. So there you go. So that's navigational flights, and there must be thousands of them there. There's a whole bunch of them, so they go up in the air up there, and you can see them up there. They're going up, and then they're coming back in. They're going back out. They just keep going back in and back out and further until they get far away, further away and further away, and then they go get pollen and nectar. Today is a heavy flow of pollen and nectar. You can see all the food on their legs as they go into the hive. You see some orange over there on some of them. That's really dark pollen there. That's what they use to make bee bread to feed the larvae, the new babies. Yeah, there's a lot of food coming in right now. Lots of food. Yesterday too. Yesterday was a nice day like today. And so, really healthy hive. They've got plenty of food for the winter. I've did what's called dry feeding, just regular sugar. Put on what's called top cover. Put a bunch of sugar in there. I made what's called a sugar cake, kind of a sugar cake. I wrapped it in some paper and put it in there. And so they got two different forms of sugar that they can eat during the winter. And I put what's called Guard in there to keep the varroa mite infection down, so that don't kill the bees. Because I had an infection, the bees were dying. They were coming out with either stunted wings or no wings. I watched one the other day. She came out, she was all excited. She was running around the front of the entrance, and she got to the edge like she was gonna fly, and looks like she tried to jump off to fly, and she went straight to the ground. She was roaming around on the ground for a while until she realized, oh, I guess I ain't going nowhere. And so, yeah, and she eventually would. They just die once they hit the ground. They'll just die, from starvation, because they can't get back in the hive and get fed. So. Yeah, but that disease has gone down quite a bit since I put the Guard. And I also do what's called powdered sugar treatment. So I did the Guard, I did the powdered sugar. I make my own powdered sugar. I just take regular table sugar, because that's actually their food source is table sugar. It's sucrose and fructose. That's what's on flowers. Same stuff. So sucrose and fructose is what they're after when they go to a flower. Same thing as table sugar. So that's their food, sucrose and fructose. So, yeah, they're doing really great, and looks great. Anyway, have a nice day.